Hey, what up, YouTube? It's your boy Iceman Guru, aka Dr. J, aka Mr. 7 Days a Week, aka Mr. Accountability. Back at you with another installment on a high frequency only channel. Like, subscribe, share, comment, hit that bell. Okay, you already know what to do, man. All right. Topic subject for today's video: women's mentality is a reason for the change in society. Okay, let me repeat that for you. Topic subject for today's video: women's mentality is a reason for the change in society. Okay, now let's talk about it. Let's address it. Let me start here. Let me start in the 1960s. Okay, in the 1960s, we saw a change. Okay, in the 60s, we saw the infusion of drugs in the inner cities. We saw a lot of men leave the household due to being incarcerated and due to being drug addicts. Women as well, but for the most part, a lot of these were men. In the 70s, we saw the sexual revolution, sexual liberation movement, where women was so-called proclaiming to reclaim their own bodies. So you saw an increase of women who have more sexual partners, who were speaking out more about sex or what have you. Okay. So, and a lot of these things, when it comes to the 60s, the government is a part of it, because you start seeing welfare really being implemented, food stamps, WIC. Women actually getting subsidized homes, apartments, things of that nature. So the government were really coming in and taking care of women. Okay, on top of there being a women's movement, a sexual liberation movement. Okay, so all these different things I bring up because all these different things had an impact on the way that women think or thought during the times. Prior to the 1960s, everything was pretty much stable. Everybody pretty much understood their role. Okay, most women were in the home taking care of the kids, with the men out working and doing their thing. Okay, after that, of course, we started seeing drugs, we started seeing diseases, we started seeing women basically buck up and say, "Hey, we want more options." Okay, and for most men, we would consider ourselves feminists by the true definition of women having more options. Okay, so it's not about that. Okay, but the problem becomes when women don't understand their role, because men always play their role and always have played their role. All right, now you can call it part of the patriarchy, and that's a whole nother video for a whole nother day. Okay, but it's not a patriarchy when a man naturally feels inclined to protect and provide. Okay, if somebody was to break in my home, my natural inclination is to get up and protect the women and children in the home. Nobody did not have to tell me that. Okay, as a matter of fact, I don't know if I was even told that when I was young. It would have been my natural inclination. Okay, so when we talk about biological, okay, naturally women's role is to protect and provide for their young and educate their young, because they are the one that are birthing these children. Okay, that's natural. Okay, so when women mentality started to change due to the things I just mentioned, we started seeing the rise and the formation of what we consider the modern woman. Okay, now modern women are not going anywhere. As a matter of fact, it might get worse. Okay, so this is why we have the modern women, traditional woman. Now we can say versus, but I don't think there is a clash between modern women and traditional women. I just think a lot of women nowadays are raised to be more modern, okay, because times have changed. Okay, we're gonna be real about that. Time have changed. Now, when it comes to capitalism and the economy, okay, due to inflation, well, yes, wages and pay has leveled off. All right. So Most men are average earners. Most men would not be able to take care of a family of 4 or 5 or more by themselves. So yes, women income are needed. Okay. And in some cases wanted. All right. But that has nothing to do with the fact that now women with their advanced degrees and with the fact that they making more money, that they can treat a man a certain way or feel like they are above a man. Okay. This is a change in mentality for women. Okay. Because they're making more money and because they feel like they got more education, that now they require a certain thing for a man. Now they feel like they're above men. Okay. This has altered society. Okay. Because now all the talk is that, well, I don't want no broke dude. Now all of a sudden it's about money. Well, let's be real. Okay. Based off of data, statistics. Okay. When we look at the median income of a man and a woman, women still make less than men. There are still more billionaires and millionaires that are men than women. Okay. So even when we look at it, women do not make as much as men. Now, you have your exceptions of women who are making a nice little wage, but that's not the rule. All right. So let's be clear. Okay. But that's part of the problem. Okay. Because we hearing all these women that are getting on YouTube or any other social media, on TV, radio, stuff like that. And these women typically are your exception, who are making more than your average men. And they are telling average women who don't make as much as men that they shouldn't have a broke dude. When the rhetoric is never from men that we don't want no broke woman because we don't care about a woman's finances. Okay? So yes, women do care about men's finances. But let's be real. Everybody can't have a top 10% man. Okay? So the mentality of a woman has changed, thinking that a lot of women think that they can actually get the top 10% man, or they should have one of the most attractive men. One of the most tallest men, one of the most successful men. A lot of women think this. And so they change the mentality is also creating their unhappiness. It's the reason why 70 to 80% of women file for divorce. And I imagine the same stat goes for relationships, because women believe it's something greener on the other side. What a lot of times is just the same on the other side. And that goes for men as well. Okay. But the mentality, women used to be happy. Now women are most unhappiness, and they make the most money and the most educated. Women mentality has changed, which means that their idea of what their role should be to a man has changed as well. And the fact that a lot of women are breaking up their own homes because of this, creating single parent households. Yes, women are creating single parent household because women leave the relationship. And then men get on the hook and get blamed for it when the women are leaving majority of the time. And then you create a situation where all these young boys are raised by women and are uber emotional. Don't know how to handle their own anger, because anger for a man and woman looks different. And now there's no wonder why you have all these young men who are killing each other. All these young men that are making bad decisions and ended up in jail. Women mentality has created a lot of change in culture, and a lot of the change has been negative. Because women are failing to understand and failing to say and realize that they need the leadership of a man. No. You may also want a man, but you need a man, because men are the one who civilized this country and civilized this world. So the idea that women mentality is changing and saying that they don't need a man is part of the problem. while I believe your children will beg to differ. The balance of the masculine and feminine energy is needed in everything in order to be successful. So this whole modern woman, hear me roar, black girl magic, all this is cute and it sound good. But at the end of the day, we suffering as society and we can see the effects. We see it every day. We see it every single day. So I would love to know, is the sacrifice worth it? Is the sacrifice that women are making more money and they feeling more free than ever, is it worth the fact that you don't got no man in the home and then your children growing up and they don't have that balance and then it leading them down a road that they shouldn't be going down? Was it worth it? We got to recalibrate. We got to rethink. And we got to do it together. Because you need us and we need you. That's how it always been. And in the last 50 or 60 years, we've seen the ramification of the change in women thinking. Men had always been fuck ups, according to women and according to history, right? We've always been aggressive. We've always been violent. We always been cheaters. But we also always been protectors and providers. Nothing has changed. Ladies, your mentality has changed. And we got to do more listening than talking. All right. We're going to end the video on that, man. Hey, it's not a popular opinion. You know, a lot of things may be triggering, but it needs to be said, okay? Hey, as always, I'm you are me. Love always, love eternal. And we out this thing. Deuces.